Welcome back to episode 14 of Drop the Mitts Hockey Podcast, brought to you in partnership with Primetime Productions. We have an unreal guest today, Tri-City Storm forward and projected first-round pick this year, Trevor Connelly. Trevor, how you doing, buddy? How's your offseason been going?
Been good. It's obviously lovely to go back home in the summer, see sunny California and stuff. So it was a great off season, a lot of training on ice and off the ice, and just enjoying time with my family and friends.
Yeah, what kind of things do you enjoy doing besides, obviously training and being on the ice? There any other things you enjoy doing?
Yeah, I love going to the beach. I'm at the beach a ton in the summer, like almost every day. I try and go as much as I can. It's just super relaxing, and the beaches in California are beautiful. I have a really close relationship with my little brother, so I'm always out doing stuff with him and taking him on different adventures and stuff. So just spending time with my family and friends and just trying to enjoy the sunny California while I can.
You a surfer at all?
A little bit. I'm not great, but I'll go with my buddies. So definitely not as good as my friends back home, but I can go and have fun, but I'm not the best for sure.
There you go, man. Yeah, so obviously, it's been a long off season. You're back in Nebraska. What's it like being in Nebraska, man? Obviously, being a California and spend some time in Cali and Massachusetts. Like, what's it like being in Nebraska? Obviously, we talked before this, and you mentioned just cornfields. Like, what is it like being out there?
Yeah, it's definitely different than California, but the biggest thing for me is the people are all super nice here. Like everyone is like the town we're in, it's not a big town, probably 5 to 6 thousand people, but everyone's just super nice. They support us. They all know who we are. So it's definitely been a change of scenery, but I think the people here are great people. So I love that about Nebraska for sure.
Yeah, so you're with a sponsor family. What is that experience like? I mean, I've talked to different dudes and they've had different experiences with their sponsor families. What's yours been like? What's your experience been like with your host family?
Yeah, my host family is awesome. So they have 3 kids. They have 2 little boys and a little daughter, and they have 3 dogs. But they're a great family. They have a great setup for. I live with Cooper Simpson, who's an '07. He tendered here as well. He played in the Five Nations tournament this summer. So we live together in We're in the basement, and the 3 kids are upstairs. But I couldn't say anything like bad about the family. They make great food. They're great people. They've been awesome to us. So it definitely makes living away from home a lot easier having the family.
Yeah, the home cooked meals and the good food always helps. Um, I wanted to ask you, so growing up in California, what made you get into hockey? Was there a person, a specific, a family member that got you into it? You know, yeah, what made you get into hockey? And growing up, who was your favorite team and some of your favorite players?
Yeah, so I all my credit for my hockey I give to my dad. He grew up in Massachusetts, so that's all always like most more hockey than California. So right as I could start walking, he started getting me into hockey, put a stick in my hands, put me in skates. So, and he actually coached me until I was about 12 years old. So he really developed me as a player a lot. He helped me in a lot of the areas of my game. I definitely wouldn't be the same player I am now without him. And I also had he coached with a guy named Eugene Abney. Still coaches my little brother, and he and my dad really made me the player who I am. I still skate with him in the summers. He's from Ukraine, so he's very hard on me and was hard on me growing up, but he really pushed me and made me the best, and obviously it worked out.
Yeah, you're going to be better for it in the long run, and obviously it sucks in the moment, but and like I mentioned, in the long run, it's really going to be beneficial to you. But there any who are your favorite players growing up and favorite teams?
Yeah, so Boston because of my dad. I was always growing up. We were always back east in Boston, down in the Cape, and he's one of 7. So a lot of his siblings still live back in Boston. So basically, my whole life growing up, everything was just Boston, Boston, Boston. So I've been a Bruins fan my whole life. I'm a huge fan of Pasternak. I really like Jack Hughes and Kent Johnson. Um, I'm also a big fan of Mike Modano. I think he's one of my favorite players of all time. He's more of a
Legend, dude.
I really like his game and how he played the style of hockey.
I always love seeing, like, obviously you're a younger kid, 17, and I just to see, to hear a name like Mike Modano, obviously that was even before like a kid or a guy I grew up watching too, and it's really cool to hear that. I love Mike Modano myself, dude. He just again for him to thrive in Dallas, he was an unbelievable player, especially as an American.
Yeah,
Um,
he can skate. He was skilled. He was fast. He was smart. He,
Those stars teams, dude, were unreal. Like I still like to go back and watch highlights of Mike Modano and like Sergei Zubov, like all those guys. They're just fucking unreal.
I watch a ton of Mike Modano highlights. I really like him. He's an insane player.
So kind of getting into, keeping keeping up with like current players or former players. Are there any players that you try to like emulate your game after?
Yeah,
Um
two guys that I kind of see like shades of myself in when I watch are Jack Hughes and Kent Johnson. I'd say more Kent Johnson than Jack Hughes, but I really like the way that Johnson plays. He makes his teammates better. He can skate. He's very smart, and he has a really good shot. So I think I kind of see shades of myself when I watch him play, and I like to watch a lot of his highlights and stuff and just learn different things from him.
Yeah, dude, I was watching your highlights, obviously, like on Elite Prospects and everything, and that's actually an unreal comparison. I didn't even think of Kent Johnson, but yeah, that's an unreal comparison. And honestly, so last year you had an a good season. 24 genos, 23 assists in 47 games. Um, what areas of your game this offseason have you been like mostly working on to improve? And what are your expectations for this upcoming season?
Yeah, so this off season for me was I would really dialed in on my shot and shot volume. So for me, I was just working on a bunch of different shots, how I can score more from different angles, harder angles, what's the hardest for the goalie to stop. So this summer, I really watched a lot of video and did a lot on the ice of just finding different ways to score and different angles, different ways to shoot. So I think that was my main thing for me this off season is just really dialing in on getting like 10 shots a game and just the best shots opportunities. And yeah, so that was the main thing. Another thing for me was my defensive game, which last year, coming in as a younger forward, it was harder playing real defense from AAA hockey. So I think I really developed those two things a lot, and those what helped me play good in the second half of the season.
Like, so what would you describe your play style as? For someone that, who doesn't really know a whole lot about you, like what would you say that, your biggest strengths are, and like your overall main play style?
I think I'm a fast-paced player. I play the game at a really high speed, and I think I like to make my teammates better all over the ice. I always look for little plays to set them up or set a rush up or different opportunities. And I think when I get my chance to put the puck in the net, I put it in the net. But I think my main things for me are my skating and my hockey IQ, and just I like how I have a different way of seeing the ice and different way of making plays. So I think those are my two main abilities.
Yeah, so you get to play in the Hlinka Gretzky Cup and you fucking tore it up. You were tied with Berkeley Catton, who's another phenomenal player from Canada. You guys both had 10 points. What was your biggest takeaway from that tournament? And just what was it like being able to play with like some unreal talent for the US? You guys won bronze, which is, good. It's great. What was your overall takeaway from that tournament?
Yeah, it's funny you say Berkeley. We're actually drafted to the same Western League team, so we've kind of known each
Oh,
other.
Spokane?
Yeah, we've known each other kind of a little bit growing up and stuff. So it was super cool to play against him, and obviously he's an unreal talent of player. So it was really cool to play against him in that Canada game. And I think the biggest thing for me that tournament was I just tried to stay dialed in on what I was good at and how I could help the team the most get success. So I just worked my ass off. I competed all over the ice. I think what helped me produce so much was working hard defensively, working hard away from the puck, and just doing all the hard things to get rewarded when I got my chance. And yeah, we definitely had some very, very high end players. I really enjoyed playing with Will Zellers and Max Swanson. They're two very high offensive, smart hockey players. So I think I had a really good connection with those two, and it was super fun to be on the ice with both of them for the first time.
Yeah, I mean, dude, I remember watching that tournament. I could not believe the speed of you guys on that ice, dude. And the one thing I do remember is I was taking a video like for Snapchat or whatever, and one of my buddies was giving me shit, telling me to upgrade from the iPhone 7 because of all the fog on the ice, and I'm like, dude, no, that's the fog on the ice. Did you have to play through that at all?
Yeah, so our exhibition game, we played Slovakia in the rink where Canada and that division played. So the exhibition game and then the bronze medal game were in that rink, and the fog was insane there. It was like I was wearing a bubble too, so it was like every shift I got off the ice, took my helmet
Oh
off
yeah.
because I was like I can't see, like I skate for like 10 15 seconds and my whole bubble is fogged. So yeah, I think it's they don't have some part or machine over there that we use here, so it's harder for them to get that out when like the weather's hot in the summer. I think someone was saying.
Yeah, well, dude, I was trying to I was watching on my TV and then I flipped to my laptop because my dumbass thought it was my TV like fogging out, and I'm like, it literally took me like 15 minutes to recognize that it was all right. This is probably on the ice, but yeah,
Yeah,
I thought that was crazy. I couldn't even imagine trying to play through that. Like, especially you mentioned wearing a bubble. Like, you that must have been so fucking annoying.
like in warm-ups, like you'd look down and you could like barely see the other team like skating around shooting pucks. It was
Um, so yeah, we talked about it earlier. You're committed to Providence College. You talked about you could probably go this season, but just opted not to. What went into the decision for choosing Providence? Were there any other schools you toured? And obviously, we know a couple beauties here from Providence, Riley Duran and Patrick Moynihan. Did you get to talk to them at all? And yeah, again, were there any other schools like that you kind of were considering?
yeah. So Providence, I just felt like their coaching staff would be the best for me and really push me to be the best player and get all the best things out of me. So I was talking to them ever since they could start talking to me, and I just felt a really strong connection with their coaching staff. And when I took my visit out there, I like stepped on campus and I was like, this is where I want to be. Like the guys are awesome, the facilities are great, like the school is great, seems like great people, and obviously it's close to all my relatives in Massachusetts and stuff. So I just felt like that spot would be the best for me, and Lehman would really push me to be the best player that I can get to.
Yeah, it's a beautiful campus, dude. I've been there a few times. I've been to that rink a couple times. It's a beautiful rink.
Yeah,
Um,
great campus. Their gym's awesome, locker room's awesome. They have really good facilities there, so I'm super pumped to get there.
have you got to talk? Have you talked to any of the players from there? Like, we mentioned Riley Durant, Patrick Moynihan. I know they got Parker Ford. Did you get
Yeah,
to talk to any of those guys?
yeah. So I met all of them on my visit. I talked to Duran and Moynihan. They were all super nice kids. Introduced themselves to me, talked to me a little bit about the school and stuff. So that was cool. And then I spent most of my time with Brett Berard. He's in the AHL now.
Yep.
And his brother Brady, they were really good to me. They showed me a lot and just told me a lot about the school. And then I actually have two kids from my Tri-City team last year who were freshmen there now, Tanner Adams and Graham Gamache. I actually played on a line with both of them for a bit. So that's
Nice, dude.
on my team now. We have two commits committed to Providence. Alex Bales, who was on my Hlinka team, actually, he's a D man. And then Sam Omeritati, who's a kid from Finland, who both great kids. So we have a super good group of guys going there and stuff. I'm pumped.
Yeah, I feel it's definitely got to be helpful to have family around, and obviously just knowing exactly what you're going into. Like you mentioned, just a bunch of great dudes. I feel like that's just something that makes life that much easier when making a decision like this. Um, are there any guys that, whether it's in college or in juniors that have been, kind of been mentors to you, that have been kind of helping you along the way, for your with your journey?
For sure, yeah. So I had a Swedish roommate. He's actually at UMass now. His name's Sebastian Tornquist, and he was kind of like a big brother to me last year. Like he helped me like get on like all my routines, just like figuring out how like more of like a pro life is. And so I really give credit to him because he was always there for me. He was like my best friend last year. He helped me, told me what to do, what not to do. So I give him a lot of credit for developing me last year and really helping me like be my best self.
Yeah, that's awesome, dude. So I wanted to talk to you. Obviously, you're going to be you're a prospect in this upcoming draft. TSN's Bob McKenzie has you ranked as the 11th best prospect in this class. Um, are there any cities you're like really itching to go to? Situations, cities, players you want to play with? Um, yeah, like are there any situations that you're like you'd love to be in? Obviously, it's a dream come true to get drafted. Um,
I'd go anywhere if I could get drafted in the NHL. I'm super honored that I have the opportunity. But I think the main Boston would be probably my one spot that I would want to go to. And then honestly, my second I think would be somewhere in like Tampa or Florida. I really like who Tampa has, like their forwards, like Kucherov, Point, like they just have a ton of talent, and I
Yeah.
think Florida, I think it's a cool spot and stuff. So I think one of those teams would be super cool, and then obviously Anaheim because I played for the Junior Ducks and stuff. So that'd be super cool if I
Might
got
be
the.
cool to play with a guy like Trevor
Yeah,
Zegras and maybe Leo Carlson. Who knows?
he's one of my favorite. Zegers is one of my favorite players. Actually, 2 years ago, my coach set me up to have a FaceTime with him, so I got to talk to him for a little bit and stuff. So I look up to him a lot too. I watch a
Man,
lot.
the shit that he does on the ice is just unbelievable. It's just, the balls that it takes to try to pull off the stuff that he does. He's so fun to watch, and
Of fun to watch.
it's kind of funny seeing a lot of these old timers get all pissed off about, these kids trying this stuff. And honestly, I think it's so good for the game, to show the creativity of you guys that, it's just a different game. It's evolving. Everything evolves.
Yeah, it
And
definitely helped me expand my game because I've definitely sat in my driveway for hours trying a lot of the moves that he's tried to do and stuff. So I love watching videos and highlights of him. I think he's definitely a special talent because he does a lot of things that people don't like, and he just kind of accepts it and plays his style of hockey. So I really like how he plays the style of the
yeah,
game.
so I kind of want to go back to this. I didn't have this question written down, but obviously this year has a ton of like phenomenal rookies. Obviously from the development camp, or not development camps, the prospect challenges, we saw what Bedard did. Fantilli had a hat trick. Are there any players in this year's draft that you think you play like or would like to emulate your game after?
Mm, Honestly, I don't know the younger players well enough. Like I know like Fantilli and Bedard, and I think I kind of play different styles of them. But I can't really think of a guy in this draft that like I play a lot of like. I'd say I think maybe I see shades in like Ryan Leonard, like how hard he works and like he's a goal scorer and like
You'll get
smart
to play against him next year, dude.
for sure. So I think he's one player that maybe I've seen shades of.
Yeah.
I don't think I've watched enough of the guys like detailedly to like make a say on that.
Yeah, that makes sense, dude. So obviously, I wanted to bring up also one thing that we're kind of huge on here at Drop the Mitts is we love talking to the players and obviously getting to know you guys. But I think one thing that definitely falls through the cracks with pro hockeyers, NHL guys, is their community involvement. And I wanted to talk to you about your involvement with hockey players of color. What kind of work have you been doing with them? And obviously, you're doing great work with them. You put in a ton of hours. So talk to us a little bit about your involvement with them.
Yeah, so I had the opportunity to go down to Florida and actually coach two of their teams in an event. So that was just a super cool experience for me, just knowing, learning, like teaching those kids what I know about hockey and my dad being there with me, being on the bench, being able to coach with them for the first time. So it was super cool. And the head person who runs it, her name's Jasmine Miley. She's been awesome to me. I do video with one of the players on the team, like once every month or so. So I just take video clips from his games that he sent me and send him some stuff, hop on a Zoom with him and do different stuff with him. And I just gave him some like shooting drills that he can work on in his garage and stuff. So they've been super good to me and gave me the opportunity to work for them. And so I was super thankful. And it was definitely cool to see that like those kids like all playing hockey from like all different places and like stuff. So it's awesome. I want to get the game everywhere. So
Yeah, dude, it's a heartwarming thing, especially with the younger kids. You giving them the knowledge, like what and just seeing the smiles on their faces, when they're lacing them up. There's nothing like it. It's you're doing God's work, and obviously we love hearing about all the community involvement. And keep it up, man.
the summer too with my mom. Like me and my mom, we do a lot of like beach cleanups and stuff. We'll go in the mornings and stuff. And then me and my sister actually do this one other thing. It's like where foster families drop off their foster kids at like a church and like you just spend like 6 hours on a Saturday, like once a month with them, like hanging out with them, playing different sports with them and stuff. So that's super cool too. Just being able to like give back to those kids and stuff, just spend time with them and stuff. So that's always super fun in the summer, just some activities that I do with my family.
Yeah, dude, we love seeing kids as talented as you are, not only on the ice, but just genuine human beings that, just want to help out wherever they can and, that have such a heavy presence in the community. We love to see it. And obviously, like, whoever gets to draft you this year is getting a hell of a kid. Unreal talent on the ice, but, an even better person off the ice. So, honestly, I wish you the best of luck this season, man. And hopefully we can have you on closer to draft time. And,
For sure.
yeah, man. Thank you again. We appreciate you, buddy. Of
Yeah. Thank you for having me on. It was super fun, and I loved meeting you and having a chat with you.
course, buddy. Take care.
Take care.